back here and grab a seat. We'll check the video and everything. I can see us on there, Jim, so we're doing okay so far.
All right.
We're early today. I'm just gonna get on here and check a couple things so I can.
So you're not on yet?
Oh no, we're on.
Oh, we're on.
We're on.
Okay.
Yeah, we're definitely on. But I'm just gonna get us logged in here so
Okay.
I can actually see the comments when they come in.
Uh-huh.
But we'll see people chiming in here in a second or two. All right. Just getting everything set up here. Well, it says we're live, but maybe we're not. Let me double check the camera. Oh, there's people on here. Okay, I see some people. Wally, I see you, Clyde. Guys, let me know if you can see us and hear us okay, please. There we go. See, I can see people commenting now.
Okay.
All right, all season anglers saying loud and clear. Wally Tomasic is saying here. Clyde is saying on board. Jim Dombrowski, good evening. Jim B saying we're loud and clear. And Bonnie Zolke on here from Olcott, New York. We get people on here from all over the world. All over the world. They'll come on here and they'll watch this, and they can all comment right here. But so what we got going on tonight, everybody? We're in Tangle Tackle. I am here with legendary guide, charter captain Jim Bennett. Jim has been out. You've been fishing the river and the big lake for longer than I've been alive, and I know you've been there and done that on everything. We're going to talk about that tonight. But everybody, I'm really honored to have Jim here as a guest tonight. We're going to talk about the good old days back in the 60s. We'll talk about the 80s when things got pretty tough. We'll talk about today's fishery. We'll talk about where you fished over the years and everything like that. And we're just going to have a really nice discussion. And but first off, I got some housekeeping to do, so I'll take care of this, and then we'll get into this. But Stanley Bennett saying, hi, Captain Bennett. Is there a Stanley Bennett that's related to you?
Who?
Stanley Bennett.
Stanley?
Yeah.
I can't.
Probably your long-lost cousin or something.
Could be.
Ryan Purchase is here. Ryan is out in the Mojave Desert in California. Holy cow, Ryan, what are you doing? Oh, you're driving, aren't you? You're running a big truck, aren't you? We got Bowmanville, Canada here. We got somebody's been walleye fishing down in Huron, Ohio. That's Mark Somerville. Teresa Flanders is saying hi. Patrick Forster saying hi. And man, we got a lot of good people here. Bill Gerlach's on here. Bill Gerlach is always on here. That guy is always on here. Always giving me a hard time. Just kidding. All right, so first off, camera angle's pretty good. Let me just adjust it that way slightly. We're a little further away from the camera than what I normally am, but this is going to work best for tonight. All right. So, a couple things, housekeeping things we got to clean up first. First off, Purple Taco Fly Supply is having their annual Black Friday sale, but it's starting on November 19th, going through November 30th. PurpleTacoFlySupply.com is where you go. Their sale is going to be 15% off everything. Everything's going to be 15% off except the Bargain Barn, and it's not off shipping as well. So shipping and the Bargain Cave is still the same, but everything else on PurpleTacoFlySupply.com is 15% off. And they're also going to be drawing 5 winners throughout that time period. So 5 winners. If you buy anything online through Purple Taco during that time, you're automatically entered into this drawing. And they're going to pull 5 winners. The number 1 winner, grand prize winner, you're going to get your order for free. So no matter what you bought, if you bought $1 million worth of fly material, you're going to get $1 million worth of fly material for free. So I'm not recommending you do that, but if you want to, you're welcome to. So anyway, number 1 winner is getting 100% off their order. The second and third place prize winners are going to get 50% off their orders. And the next 2, the fourth and fifth place winners, are going to get 25% off their orders. So again, that's PurpleTacoFlySupply.com. The sale's running from November 19th till November 30th. The code you got to use is Turkey15. turkey 15, and you will get 15% off your entire order. That's pretty cool. All right, we got more people jumping in here. Man, there's a bunch of people on. George Barnes is in Watertown, Connecticut. We've had people on here from Australia. We've had people on here from many people from Canada, many people from all over the place. South America we've had. Ryan Purchase is saying it's 89 degrees out in the Mojave Desert.
Whew.
Yeah, that's pretty warm. Yeah. What else do we got going on here? Jason C is here. Nick Padula's here. All Season Angler, does Purple Taco ship to Canada? Yes, they do. They absolutely do. Tony Long is here. Dave Ristow is here. All sorts of people jumping on. So just so everybody knows, we jumped in a little bit early tonight. I know it's not 7 o'clock yet, but Jim here, he knows that I got to go to bed early, so he agreed to come here a little early, and so we can get this done before my bedtime. But no, I'm kidding. We just we were talking. And I said, you know, why not get this thing going so we can get more information out to everybody. But Paul Weemeister, I believe, said that his dad said you were always the best, Jim. So there's people out here that know who you are. Wehrmeister.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. I said that wrong. I say so many names wrong. I'm terrible at it. But there's people out here that already know who you are. So that's a cool thing. All right, couple other things to clean up first. So last week I talked to everyone about the giveaway that we're doing with that fish hawk. We have a Fishhawk X2 up for grabs in the giveaway, and that was donated by Ryan Purchase. Ryan's on the channel tonight. He's already chimed in a couple times. In order to be eligible for that Fishhawk, and this is a really nice X2 unit, comes with a case, comes with the cover for the display itself, the probe, the pole, everything is going to get you out on the water with a Fishhawk. The only parameters to enter that giveaway is you got to go to last week's live video. Once this posts to YouTube, I'll put a link up above. But you got to go to last week's live video, you got to like the video, and you have to be publicly subscribed to the channel. And I'm going to re-emphasize that you have to be publicly subscribed, because I saw many people that, and all you got to do is make a post down below that video. That's it. You just got to post maybe where you fish, how you fish, or what you fish for, what kind of boat you have. I don't care what you post. Be polite, be respectful, please. All you got to do is make a post. But if you're not publicly subscribed to this channel, you are going to be ineligible. So if I draw your name next week, because we're going to draw the names next week, if I pull your name out and I check, because I'll be able to check in real time, if you're not publicly subscribed, you're going to get passed over. So double check your subscription status. You can be privately subbed or you can be publicly subbed to this channel. Make sure that you're publicly subbed. That's the only way I can verify that you are subscribed to the channel. I don't get anything extra for that. It doesn't make anything better for me in my life. It's just I need to be able to verify that you are subbed to the channel. So, all right. What else we got people saying here? All right. John Thompson just came out of Lake Superior. Lake Superior. You ever fished Lake Superior?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I bet you have. Is there a place you haven't fished? That might be the better question.
Oh, yeah. I haven't been to Alaska yet.
You haven't been to Alaska?
No.
I haven't either, so maybe we'll have to book a trip. Let's see here. One other thing. I'm starting to put together this idea for a large network. And what I'm thinking about is making a one-stop shop for everyone, just even past what we do here every Sunday. And what I'm looking for is people in certain areas around the state of Michigan, Lake Ontario, Wisconsin, Lake Huron, the Straits, Lake Superior, have this core group of people that will once a week supply me with information in their fishing area. And what I plan on doing is taking all that information, and once a week on a Wednesday, I'll put it out in a recorded video. It won't be a live video, but I'll put it out in a recorded video, and I will go through all that information that everybody has given to me. So it's more than likely going to cover your area. What I'm looking for is guides in those areas. If you're a hardcore weekend angler, you know, and you're out there every weekend, every week, and you think that you can get the right information out about your area, you're more than welcome to get a hold of me and apply. If you're a guide in that area and you're willing to supply me information in that area, all the better. And what you're going to get in return is you'll get your guide service shouted out on the channel, and you'll also get a link to your website and your service in the comment or in the description on the channel. So it's going to give you a lot of publicity also. So I'm not gonna shout out just yet the areas I'm looking for, but within the next couple of weeks, I'm going to start throwing this conglomeration together, and it's just going to be good for everybody throughout the state of Wisconsin, Michigan, New York, Canada, Lake Superior. A lot of information we can get out to everybody. I think it's going to be a really nice thing that we can cook up and get everybody informed. So tonight, to start that off, in light of that, my buddy Todd Frank, who's in Muskegon, he wants to do the Muskegon area. I already got him booked for that area. His report for Muskegon tonight, I'm just read this off like I'll be doing in the upcoming weeks for other areas, but he says the Muskegon River from Croton, I don't know if I'm even saying that right, Croton, down to Bridgeton is fishing well for steelhead and lake run browns. Beads and bags and swung spay flies are doing the job. Most fish are entering the system daily as the temperatures drop. Seems to have been a push of skippers in the last rain, and he's been catching a lot of little skippers in with the mature steelhead lately. He says Wabasis and Lincoln Lake, northeast of Grand Rapids, have been producing good panfish. And Muskegon Lake, and he has this in caps, I don't know why, maybe this is important, but Muskegon Lake producing a few good perch around the sand docks, but nothing really in numbers. Then walleyes are starting to show up in better numbers in Muskegon Lake. And he says as the lake temps drop, like they will be, and the weed beds start to shrink, which they will be, more walleyes are going to start showing up. He's saying the Rapalas after dark on planer boards near Strawberry Island has also been decent. So that's a pretty good report. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a real good report. All right. Oh, what else we got here? Boyd Stapleton, he's on his way home from New Jersey. He's listening as he's driving, I guess. He says his wife's not happy.
Watch the road.
Stay on the road. Stay on the road, Boyd. Please, stay on the road. What else we got? Tony Long wants to know if anyone has tips for the steelhead and tributaries. Jason C says Alaska is amazing, so somebody's been.
Oh.
And Clyde Richardson says if we go to Alaska, he'll go with us. He's not saying he'll pay for us, but he's saying he'll go with us. Grand Traverse Bay, Kyle, yeah, that's going to be one of the places we're gonna look to putting into that network. Absolutely. We're talking really from all the way up to Canada, all the way down to Ohio. We're going to cover as much ground as we can. So I think Grand Traverse Bay is definitely in that zone. George Barnes, searching for a site that gives fishing reports daily for Lake Ontario. Any suggestions? George, I wish I did. I don't have anything for you there. I know that there's a guy that does a YouTube channel in Lake Ontario, and I can't think of his name right now. Bill Safe. I've watched some of his videos. He seems to do a pretty good job. I don't mind giving him a shout out. His videos seem pretty clean and pretty straightforward. So if you're looking for something in that area, I'd look up Bill Safe's YouTube channel. He seems to do a pretty good job. All right. Dakota Joe's also on board. All right, we are now at 7:03. We're officially underway.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to jump back to square one here. I'll give a little fishing report for our area once we're done with Captain Jim. But I wanted to get going here with this. Because and I do have the super chat reel. If anybody super chats, this obnoxious piece of equipment is ready to go. I'll give you a little taste of it right by my microphone. That is so loud. That's so ridiculous. But I am honored to have Jim Bennett here with me tonight. Jim has been fishing Lake Michigan, the state of Michigan, Florida, since really all the salmon and everything started here in this state. I mean, a long, long, long time. So thank you for being here, Jim.
Well,
I really appreciate it.
Thank you for asking me here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Are you kidding me? I'd have you here every Sunday if I could, but I don't think your family would go for that so much. But, so can you tell me a little bit about yourself? You know, how you started, where you started, and what got you into this whole fiasco?
Yes, of course I've been born and raised around here, and I fished on the Sable River when I was a kid, just blue jeans, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Oh yeah.
But anyhow, I was working at the paper mill in Manistee here. It's in 1966. I was guiding on the big Manistee River a little bit for steelhead.
Oh, steelhead back then.
And then
sure.
here come all these Jack
The coho?
coho.
Yeah.
And that really got me thinking, you know, and so I got to thinking about it. how can I get in this a
How,
little bigger?
how can I capitalize on
Yeah.
this?
So I went home and I talked to my wife about it, and she agreed. It was things that I says, you know, I want to get into the charter business. So
And how'd she respond to that?
she was very, very responsible, and we got 3 young kids.
Oh, yeah.
And I have a job too. But anyhow, I just started studying in the Chapman's book, passed my Coast Guard test in February
And what year was that?
'67.
67.
Yeah. And then I went and arranged to buy the boat at the bank, found the boat I wanted, a 26-foot hardtop Stamus in Florida. Arranged to get the money for it, and so I went down and met Pete next Stamus in Florida.
So you knew the guys that were building your boat.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a good thing to have.
Well, I did. I found out about them,
Yeah.
and they wanted one up here. So I got it, brought it back, and got it ready. And then in July, 1st of July, I had told the paper mill that I was going to leave. I left and started chartering.
July of 67 then.
July '67.
Wow. And what year were the Kings planted out here in Lake Michigan?
The next year, I think they planted some the next year.
Okay.
I'm not positive when they planted them, but it was not the first year.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I got my boat ready, and away I went, and we did very, very well out there. And
Now I got to ask, what was the look on the banker's face when you said, "I want to buy a boat and I want to go charter fishing on Lake Michigan when nobody else is doing that"?
yeah, well, I don't know. It just
I imagine the look on his face was pretty shocked.
yeah, he looked at. I guess he figured I was worth it. So.
I think it was definitely worth
And
it.
then, actually, like I told you, I bought a big fish finder.
Right.
Made in England it was actually, and I had to go back and borrow another $2,800. But that really helped me out immensely.
So one of the coolest things you were telling me, or one of the most interesting things, this absolutely blew me away. So when Captain Jim started fishing on the Great Lakes, he was really one of the first boats out there for the salmon. I mean, really probably the first 5 or 6 boats.
Yeah,
if
you
that.
know that. Well, there's a lot of private people, but
Sure.
in around here in Manistee area, charters there was a few. There was not many local guys, and there was a couple coming from Grand Rapids.
Okay.
There was that moonlight there.
One of the most interesting things he told me was nobody had downriggers on their boats back then. Nobody. But you had researched them, and you had found out they'd be a useful tool for you.
Yeah, yeah.
And so you had somebody make you a pair of downriggers.
I had a guy around here in Manistee make me a pair to fit the back of the boat so I could bolt them on.
Yeah.
And
Hand cranks, of course.
yeah, hand cranks.
Yeah.
And then
Now, how did those fish for you back then? Were they the most productive thing you had on the boat, or were there other methods that you were using? that
no,
were more productive?
the downriggers were the most effective,
Okay.
especially when I could see where they were at.
Yeah. Yeah.
And-
And, like what kind of cannonballs were you using on those back then?
We started out with sash weights, you know,
Okay.
big window sash weights.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then somebody come out with a mold, and I got a hold of them. I don't know. I can't remember way back there. So, but anyhow, that's what we did, and then we learned fish to, you know, lead core line,
Yeah.
all that stuff, and
See, that's what interests me is what other presentations did you guys use back then, besides downriggers?
that was it. And pretty much on the downriggers, yeah.
Yeah,
it
that was your number one.
downriggers or the divers. I got divers.
Okay.
Oh, there was divers that you could get they were steel, metal.
Mhm.
They were meant for ocean divers.
Okay.
Yeah.
And but the downriggers are pretty much the bread and butter back
Yeah,
then.
oh
weren't
yeah,
they?
oh yeah.
I hear everybody talk about back in the 70s.
And they were
80s.
guys were running weights on their lines. You know, a lot of pound balls. You know,
Sure.
on the line that didn't have downriggers.
Yeah,
There was a lot of that.
sure.
You know.
Just any way you could get that bait down to
Yeah,
wherever.
yeah. You got to get it down
And then
there. And,
the other thing, so I mean, that blew me away when you told me that, because that told me that you were probably the first boat on Lake Michigan to have a pair of downriggers on the boat.
well, I could have been. I don't know.
I mean, very likely.
But,
Very likely. I mean, somebody on here might know somebody else that did back then as well. But I would say if you weren't, you were darn close to it.
I didn't know of any ones you could buy at that time when I did it.
Yeah. So you had to have them made.
But yeah, and then the next year they were out.
Oh, the very
Oh,
next
yeah.
year.
Oh, yeah.
Now that's about when Big John started, wasn't it?
Yeah, Big John got going,
Yeah.
early.
Yeah.
And then Reith, the guy from Grand Rapids,
Okay.
I forget what the name is, where he gave me some of his. And John, and I had some of John, Big John's too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know Big John they've been around for a long, long
Oh
time.
yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, I really like that's why I run on my boat. It's still
Yeah.
Big John's. I still like them.
Then and later I got in with Canada.
Okay.
They supplied my downriggers. for me.
Absolutely. Then the other thing that you told me that I found really interesting is not only did he have one of the first sets of downriggers out there, he also had one of the first graphs out there. And he told me about this thing. And how big did you say that thing was?
What's that?
The graph, the old fish
Oh, the
finder.
graphs.
Yeah.
That graph was, it probably weighed about 50 pounds. It was made in England. And it was on the steelhead. That's how I found out about it. The
Yeah.
survey boat for
Mhm.
the DNR.
The DNR boat.
Yeah.
Right?
And when I seen that, I went back to the bank and borrowed some more money. So I got that. So.
Was it same bank?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Same banker.
Oh yeah. Local bank here in Manistee.
And you said that thing was about 50 pounds. You said it was about the size of a suitcase?
It was probably, I'm going to say 12, better than 12 inches wide, about that deep, about 8 inches deep, and about that high. It was
So
heavy.
about that high?
That high. And I had a transducer that I had to bolt on the bottom of the boat. It was one of them big, heavy-duty things.
Right.
It was on the bottom of the boat.
And that's one of the old, like the Loran systems, the old paper burners.
Yeah, well, they weren't out yet.
Right, that was the precursor, the
Yeah,
predecessor
well, they
to
weren't even
Loran.
out yet that I knew of.
Right, but that you said that was a huge game changer for you.
That
you
was
could,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
that you could go out and you could find out where the fish were, where they were suspended, and be
Yep.
able to target
Yeah,
them.
absolutely.
Yep. And now, of course, you can get a fish finder as big as a 5-inch screen, all the way up to 20-inch.
It's
screen.
amazing what they got out now.
It is.
I know they got. You can look off to the side,
Mhm.
down in the Keys there where I guided. Now they got these side finders. You can see them tarpon laying 50 feet away from you.
Pretty amazing. And then some of the new systems you can actually see forward.
Yes.
Some of the panoptics. It's
and they're
amazing.
coming out with new stuff all the time.
Yeah, but you
Dumping
know
in.
what? They still cost $2,400, just like they did back then.
All of that and better.
Maybe more now. But $2,400 back in 1967 was
Yeah,
a lot different than
a lot of
today.
money. But things worked out good for me, and that's how I got started.
And then you started guiding. You said down in Florida.
Yep.
Down in the Keys.
I started in 1985 when my son was the youngest, and he graduated from high school. And we sent him down to Ann Arbor. He went to school there. Went down to Mount Pleasant.
Central Michigan.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was there 6 years.
Okay.
And so we decided, I had a guy offer me a Airstream trader down there in the Keys. So we went down for 2 weeks. It's in the winter, And gee, I went down on the docks and I looked around and I met some guys and got talking with them. And I went back and talked to my wife. I said, I think I could do this. So we got ready, and the next year we was down there, and I spent. Well, I'm all done now. We sold our place down there last year, but that was 37 years. I was down there.
37 years.
Yeah, I guided for 35 years. The last 2 years,
Wow.
I didn't guide.
Okay.
I quit.
And what part of the Keys?
In Isle Morada.
Almirada.
I was 82, so I said that's long enough.
That's 30. How many years? 35. You said.
35, yeah.
35
I was
years
82
guiding.
then. I'm 84 now. So.
But you're not done guiding yet, Jim. I know
No,
that.
I just do a little guiding on the river.
Yep, you're
That's
still
it.
out there
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
So I know that you do the river here, the Big Manistee. You'll do Little Manistee. I know you don't get out of the Big Lake anymore.
I still got my Coast Guard license. It'll be done next June, and that'll be the end of my 11th issue.
Are you gonna let it go?
Yeah.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I couldn't pass I couldn't pass the test now. There's the medical part of
I
it.
understand. Yeah, I completely understand, but man, thank you so much for all the time that you put in, not only in Florida, but up here in Michigan as well. So can we talk about a couple of things in Michigan?
Yes.
So, I mean, you've been doing this, you were out fishing Lake Michigan for the longest time. I mean, much longer than the majority of the people around here.
Yes, I probably am.
What do you think, as far as the fishery goes, what was the heyday for Lake Michigan? As far as the king salmon?
The Kings?
Yeah.
I would say in the 70s, early 80s.
Okay. And that's back, I know, when people were getting just giant kings
Yeah.
left and right.
And then, we got hit with that BKD
Mm-hmm.
for about 3 years there, and it really hurt
Right.
on the Kings.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But I would say in the 70s, steelhead, my God, on the river, I mean, I could go out and catch 15 a day, no
Wow.
problem.
Wow.
But not now.
Yeah.
It's it's nothing like it was.
Right. Right.
But the salmon are getting big again,
Yes, they are.
and actually maybe bigger than they were then back then days.
Oh, absolutely. What's the biggest king salmon you ever caught?
35 pounds.
35 pounds. Okay. That's a heck of a
Yeah, I
fish.
got on the boat. That's the biggest.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
get it, but
No, that's a heck of a fish for around here without a doubt.
yeah.
Yeah, we've gotten several over 30, 31s, things like that. But 35, you're pushing the limit where you're pushing someplace that most people don't
And,
get
and
to.
I've caught them over 30 on the river.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Now, do you think that that's more common to catch a big king on the river late season or out in the big lake?
They're getting them. I think they get more in the big lake.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
because they get them in the river, but I mean that 47 pounder this year. I mean that blew me away.
Isn't that an amazing
Oh,
fish?
breaks
Just amazing
breaks
fish.
the state record by 10 pounds.
Oh, well, not 10 pounds, yeah.
Not
But,
maybe not 10 pounds.
no, but it was I think close to a pound that it broke it by.
Huh?
I think it was a pound at least that it broke it by. Because I forget what the old record was, but
40 some pounds. 40.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
The other
absolutely.
one, I wasn't up to it. I haven't paid any attention to it for the last several years. So
I got you. Now, one thing you told me that I found really fascinating was you've been inducted into the Freshwater Fishing Hall of Fame.
yeah, 1996.
That's amazing. Yeah. So congratulations for
Thank
being
you,
on that.
and,
Oh, you're welcome. And
It was a great honor. There's a big place over in Hayward, Wisconsin.
Mhm.
That it's there. I got a picture on a wall over there yet.
yeah, and you're still
and I-
getting accolades from the Michigan Charter Boat Association. Aren't
Yes,
you?
and I just got a Michigan Charter Boat Association just gave me a nice plaque for all the many years that I spent with them
Yeah.
and my stuff.
Yeah,
You
they do things right there, I think, at the Charter Boat
And,
Association.
I appreciate it, and it was a very nice weekend. We went down to, I can't think of it.
It was down by Grand Rapids, wasn't it?
No, I was over there past Midland,
Oh, okay, I got you.
and anyhow, that was an annual meeting, so
Hmm. Well, congratulations on that also.
it's
I mean-
been a great life, and I like to keep up with it. And, and
Now, you said that you still get out once or twice a week on the river guides.
yeah. Oh
And,
yeah, I fish on the river over here, the Big Massey River.
And you're still guiding those trips, though, aren't you?
A little bit, yeah.
Now, you told me you had somebody somewhat semi-famous on the boat recently, a guy that actually had a state
Well,
record brown trout,
Tom Healy,
Tom Healy.
who had the world record brown trout that he
Oh,
caught.
state,
in
not
the-
world record, not state record, but world record.
World record.
Right,
He had it.
right.
He caught it on the Big Massey River.
Yes, he did.
It wasn't with me. He was with a friend, and he was invited by a friend, and he got it. And he's fished with me now for 35 years. But he was with another friend,
Sure.
but way back. But,
Yep. That's an amazing fish right there. I remember the first time I saw the picture of that brown trout when they took it down, that picture downtown. When I saw that fish, I about fell out of my couch. That thing was.
I held it like that.
Oh, did you
I
hold it?
went down. Oh, he called me
Oh.
up. they were down at down in Manistee, so I got off the river. I run down there, and yeah, I couldn't believe it is.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
So if you were back in your younger days, you were back in the 60s, and you could have all this experience that you have right now, and you could go back and tell yourself anything about fishing, what would you go back and tell yourself that you would want to do different? Or that you could learn better, or that you could learn faster?
I don't know. I grew up with the fishery, so, but I would say you could learn more about the fish
Okay,
and what his habits are, and go from there.
that's a great answer. That's a great answer.
And it depends what you want to target. Like you target these kings and these coho and a lake trout. Of course, the lake trout, we've had them forever. You know, it seems like, but
Like trout we have had forever. I mean, essentially, yeah.
right now it's unbelievable.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
we never had it that good.
Oh,
But you know, we used to jerk the spoons that skid to the bottom. Well, people didn't realize you better stir that bottom up if you want to.
right. That's exactly right.
So,
And I couldn't agree with you more, because that was one of the light bulb moments that came out for me when I first started learning this lake.
yeah.
Was to learn the fish and learn their habits.
Yep.
Where they are, what time
Oh, yeah.
of the year,
Oh, yeah.
what kind of water they like, what temperature of water they like,
And
how they like to feed, when they feed,
yep, and how the blows will affect it.
how the wind affects the fishery.
The water temperature down there, very, very important.
Absolutely, the currents too.
Oh, the
All-
current,
yep.
oh boy.
Everything, and of course back then you guys didn't have fish hawks, you didn't have the
No,
probes drop
no.
down. I mean, you learned, I'm sure, just to watch the rods and how they were pulling in the water,
Yep.
and to learn the currents that way as well.
If I had to drop something down on downrigger right away and then bring it back up, see what the temperature was down there.
Yeah.
This fish hawks they got out now, is
Right.
amazing.
Right. That's one thing I learned before I had a fish hawk,
Yeah.
was whenever the first fish or two that I caught early in the morning, I would feel the fish. And
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
if it was warm, the body was warm,
He was
I
up.
knew they were probably up
Yep,
high and
yep.
maybe went down for my baits. Or if they were ice cold, they're more than likely we're feeding down
Yep.
down deep.
And they'll drop, you know.
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. So that's a great answer, Jim. I couldn't have said that any better myself. But
Well, I had to learn to fish.
yeah, learn to
Yeah,
fish.
yeah.
Yeah, because really, I mean, you say that, and it seems like such an easy thing to do. You know, you figure you go on YouTube and you watch a couple videos or you buy a book.
Yeah,
But really, you don't start learning the fish until you get out there and really start doing it.
it takes some time.
Oh, it takes a lot of time. I've been doing it 20-some years. I'm still learning. I'm sure there's things that you're still
Oh,
learning
you
too.
gotta believe it.
And I think the worst thing you could ever do is to say, I've learned it and I want to stop. I'm not going to pay attention anymore. And then you're selling yourself short.
And you got such good fishermen out there right now.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. This marina, I mean, just Manistee, the port itself.
Oh,
So
yeah.
many good captains here.
Yep.
Yeah, Paul Schlafly comes to mind. You and I were just talking about him. He's a
Yeah.
mutual friend of ours. And Lance Keene and
Yep. Lance.
my friend Brian Stan, who runs Real Heroes, is an excellent fisherman.
Kevin Hughes.
Kevin Hughes,
I
yeah,
know they come on.
runs Sandpiper, yeah. Paul's son-in-law Jake, who's running Netminer
Yeah,
now. I mean,
Jake's
for
doing well too.
a young
Yeah,
guy,
yeah.
he can fish. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's like a spider monkey on the boat. He never sits still, but man, can he fish.
Look at the teacher he had. He had a good teacher.
Yeah, well, Paul?
Oh boy.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, absolutely. Okay, so somebody just super chatted. So that means they made a donation to the channel. They made a $5 donation. That's Nissan Mead. So I got to spin this obnoxious thing. So
All right.
plug your ears. Thanks, Mr. Mead. I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you very much. All right, so a couple other things, if you don't mind, we'll talk about a few
Sure.
more. And everybody, just if you don't mind, you're more than welcome to talk to Captain Jim here when we're done talking. If you got questions, feel free to shout them out there. Just wait till we get done. So I can't really look over right now and read the questions while I'm talking with them. So just wait a couple minutes, and then you're free to shout out anything that you want to. But so looking back over the years, how do you think we're doing right now in the fishery?
I think that, you know, it's so far advanced in boats and technique and the devices that you use that's out now. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, it's
totally different from back when you used to.
Oh yeah,
Completely.
You know, and I quit in '99. That was my last year. So and I had 33 years in it, and I thought I knew it all, but boy, they went to town since in the 2000s here as a.
Yep. And it's still
And-
going.
Oh, and these guys know how to fish out here. You guys do. I mean, it's just no question about it.
Yeah. So, not only, I know the equipment has changed, but what do you think about the fishery itself? Like the salmon, how do you think we're doing right now? Are we getting better? Are you seeing improvements? Or do you think we're in the wrong track?
Well, we had some delays there on the, like the Kings. They got back, the BKD there for a while, and then the alewives going downhill. I got to believe the DNR on some of their on their surveys, and what they're the people that started this, and they and have maintained it for us. I think it's a matter you got to learn and go, and I don't know. The fishing is not where it was, that's for sure.
Right.
But we got a lot more people out there fishing,
Sure.
and I think it'll come back.
I think so,
I think it definitely will. And as far as the DNR goes, you got some great people there, and I think they'll get it back together. And I think that you can get this balance of food for the fish figured out,
Mm-hmm.
and how much you can let it take, or how much they can plant, and things like that. That's going to be the big thing. Is
How they balance it.
how they balance it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that the fishery part of it, the fish, myself right now could be planted more than what they are.
Okay.
Definitely.
You think that habitat is going to be able to
Oh yeah,
sustain more?
yeah. I think that because I look at these big salmon coming in. They don't get big because they're not eating anything.
That's true. It's
And
very true.
the guys tell me, I go down to the dock, and the guys showing me the alewives that they're bringing in and cutting the alewives out. Them are all big adult
Yes.
alewives.
Yep.
And,
Absolutely.
so I think the food is there. I think they need to plant more fish.
Okay.
I really do steelhead too. I remember in the '70s when they planted a lot of steelhead in the '70s, and boy, we had an unbelievable fishery. Maybe it was too good,
Maybe.
but that's went way down the Big Manistee River. The fishery for steelhead is not good.
I've noticed. I'm not a river guide like you. I mean,
Yeah.
and I've talked to many other river guides, and they've said the same thing though, that the steelhead fishery is down. And I've noticed it just being out in the big lake that we're not catching the steelhead offshore like we have been, over the last, say 10 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
All that's changed also. So do you think the DNR? I got to think that the DNR knows, like you said, they know where we're sitting right now.
I think so. I would hope so.
Do you think that they're just erring on the side of caution right now by not stocking?
I think they were worried about losing the alewives completely.
Yeah.
I really do, and I think they overshot it a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Jim. I really do. I think that the fishery out there could sustain more planning right now. I do also agree with you that the DNR does know what they're doing.
Oh yeah.
If you don't have the food, you're not going to have the fish. I mean, you could plant 1 million kings out there, and if you don't have the alewife, they're all going to.
You gotta have to have the alewives, and right now it looks like you got them.
Yeah.
I'm not out there, but I'm looking at the size of these fish, and coho are running a good size,
Mm-hmm.
what I could see, and so there's plenty. And then I've got to go by you guys that are telling me right now that they're seeing all kind of alewives out there.
We had a really good
Yeah.
run of alewife last year.
So
Yeah.
I think it's got to be. You got to get some more fish planted, but I think they got to have to walk into it and really watch it.
I agree with you on
And,
that also. Yep, I do.
And I think it'll get better.
Yeah, I think we're trending in the
Oh
right
yeah,
direction.
yeah.
I mean, compared to what we saw 7 to 10 years ago,
Yep.
when we had just a poor fishery. I mean, there's no better word for it. It was a poor
Yeah,
fishery.
yeah.
When we would go out and not maybe get a fish or two a trip, if you were lucky. Compared to what we were 10 years ago, I think we're definitely trending in the right direction. But I completely agree with you also. I think that the alewife numbers could sustain it now. And I think they could bump up stocking
Yeah,
a little
yeah,
also.
yeah.
Yeah, I do agree with you. That's great. So at one time, you had the state record coho.
Yeah.
And how much did that coho weigh?
It was it's right at 28 pounds, I think it was.
28
Yeah.
pound coho.
Yeah.
And I know the state record now is only
31.
Yeah, it's not much more than that. So it's not like they've come leaps and bounds in
It's
size.
still 31 there.
Yeah.
That was caught in Grand Traverse Bay just 2-3 months after we caught this one out on Lake Michigan.
And do you remember when that was? What year?
No, I can't.
Okay,
I tell you the truth.
that's okay.
I can't, my memory ain't very
Do you
good.
remember what you caught it on?
Oh Lord,
Well, I'm putting it to you now. I'm giving you the tough questions now, aren't I?
hell, it might have been a tadpolly, or something like that. Way back, it was back quite a ways ago.
That's amazing. 28 pound coho though.
Yeah.
That is an amazing fish. So, I mean, you're a guide in Florida. You've run a million trips down there in the Keys. You're a guide on the river. You've run a million trips on the river. You're a guide on the big lake. You've run a million out there. If you could look back on one trip, do you have one trip that stands out in your mind as like that was the trip?
Probably my first year, when I come in with a limit of coho.
Okay. When you were just starting off.
Yeah,
Yep.
and putting them on the dock. And there's people all over there then, and they were crying to get out on a boat. I mean, I had people waving money in my face,
Oh, I bet.
and and I was all tired out.
Was that on a charter that you were on?
Yeah, I
Okay.
would come in with a, got it going, and then once I got it going, it wouldn't let me go up there and get a limit of coho.
Sure.
So I limited out in Manistee, and the 4th of in September, Labor Day, I headed for Frankfurt because I'd fish Flat Bay till
Mm-hmm.
the mid September,
Mm-hmm.
and I can remember. I got to tell you this one. Lure Jensen chartered for me, made it for me for 2 years. The old boy.
Really?
Him and his wife Vi were up here from Oregon or wherever they're from,
Mm-hmm.
and they came down and Lure took it liking to me, and he'd pass out lures while we were out there fishing. What kind of a dodger are you using? He'd put them in a Ziploc bag, and we'd throw it in the water, and the guy'd go over and net it out. But anyhow,
That's old school marketing there.
we went out on it. He went out and he made it for me on a charter out of Frankfurt. I was at the marina in Frankfurt that we could stay there then as a charter boat. And I ran up into East Bay, up off of Otter Creek.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta go around past the river.
Right.
And I put the big machine on. I couldn't see the bottom. There was too many fish.
Really?
And it was 75 feet down. And we run 4 downriggers down there. And exactly in 1 hour and 26 minutes, we were headed for the dock with 25 coho.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. Was go down, they were just as fast as we can crank them up and crank them
That's
down.
amazing.
That's how many coho were there.
And that's when Lure Jets was mating for you.
And Lure Jensen made it for me. He did that for a couple of years with me.
Did he?
He is, promoting their lures
Sure.
out here. He's a great guy. So
That's an amazing story. 25 coho in 1 hour and 26 minutes.
yeah.
If you can beat that,
Time I put the rigger down, you crank it down. It was a crank job.
right?
You crank it down, you just hang on to it because you're going to crank it right
You
up.
get crank it right
It
back.
was off.
That's amazing. Boy,
So-
to have a day like that.
Well, I had more than one day, but
Well, I'm sure.
we kept track of that one day, and that was kind of like a rigger. I mean, we put it in the boat, so
Right?
we had 5 people on board.
Right.
Everybody got 5. So
That's a great day. That's a great day. Well, I wish it was still like that out there some days.
Yeah.
And some days there are. I mean,
Oh, yeah. Oh,
it's not quite like that, but there's
Yeah.
some days you go out there and you can still.
Well, I
go
seen
out
some
and
nice
fish.
catches coming in down here this summer.
Mhm.
And I go down there and see Paul and Lance and them. They put some pretty good racks up there.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Those guys are good
So-
fishermen for sure, without a doubt. All right. I was going to ask you one other thing that's slipping my mind right now, but these people out here, I know when the comments slow down, everybody is listening. Because when the comments are really ripping through, I know that everybody wants to ask things, but I can tell right now, everybody is just hanging on your every word. So there's some great stuff that you're sharing with us, Jim. I really appreciate
Yeah,
that. So
yeah.
let's open it up right now to questions if you
Okay,
don't mind.
sure.
So if you got a question for Captain Jim or for me or both of us or whatever in general, sing them out right now. I got the little iPad right here in front of me. I can see them easily. And again, everybody, thanks for being here. And please thank Captain Jim for being here also.
Well, thanks for having me.
Oh, are you kidding me? I absolutely love having you here. He's taking time out of his Sunday to come down here and be with us and to answer questions for everybody and just tell these great stories. And I could listen to the stories, honestly, all night long. We'd be here till midnight probably.
Yeah.
But let's see what we got, people. Okay, so Tim H wants to know, Captain Jim, would you rather eat a 10-pound king or a 5-pound steelhead? That's a tough question.
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
Being a 5-pound steelhead, I'd probably take him.
Yeah.
If he was a 10-pound steelhead, I'd probably take that king.
Okay. I agree with you completely
Yeah,
on that. 5-pound steelhead is really good eating.
Oh yeah,
Really?
you're getting a little bigger than a skipper, what we call skippers, and that.
Yeah, yeah. So let me ask you this. I mean, I know we're going to have some more questions come in, but if you could pick one fish out of the Great Lakes to eat, what would you pick?
Walleye.
Oh yes. All right, so let's narrow it down a little more. Tim H said, good answer, by the way. So you can steelhead, brown trout, king, coho, or lake trout. Which one of those 5?
Oh boy.
That's a tough one too, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a tough
They're
one.
all good.
They're all pretty good. It depends on how big they are for me, and
So you can have any size that you want. Your choice.
Yeah.
I know for me it's brown trout. I love brown trout.
yeah, I never took many brown trout home.
Yeah.
Because we caught them, you know.
Sure.
But they always went with the people.
Right.
But,
Oh yeah, it's tough when you're a charter captain to get fish in the freezer, isn't it?
yeah.
Because they're always heading home with everybody.
I like a nice coho too. I like
yeah.
a coho.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't think there is a wrong answer on that. I think any one of those are pretty good.
All them Andormus fish or not Andormus, but the ones that come in,
Mhm.
they come out of Lake Michigan. And now I'll tell you, they got a new strain of lake trout that's in Lake Michigan. Is excellent.
I agree completely.
Oh, it's like night and day between that
It
old
is.
one.
Yep. It's really good.
See, we lost all our lake trout because, well, like in when the salmon got started, or in the '60s, we didn't have a lake trout left. There was, they absolutely tell you there was no lake trout in Lake Michigan, and then they planted these other ones, and I never cared for them that much to eat, but boy, they've got another one going here.
Yeah.
I don't know, the last several
Right.
years, and boy, that's a good eating
It
fish.
is really good.
If
And
you
you
get
can and you
yeah.
can tell the difference in the flesh when you
Oh
when
boy,
you fillet
yeah,
it.
it's one real pink.
Real pinkish orangish and
Yeah,
real
yeah,
white
yeah.
in the comparison. So yeah. So I got another question for you, but I got another person chiming in here. Leroy Dowding, who owns Purple Taco Fly Supply, by the way, good friend of mine.
Okay.
Real good guy.
Yeah.
He wants to know what sort of rod and reel was used back in the early days of fishery.
I use all conventional reels pretty much always. And Shakespeare, I was sponsored by Shakespeare. I was
Okay.
one of, we called them Shakespeare guys, we call us.
Mhm.
Or I was on a thing with Shakespeare, so I'd have Shakespeare conventional reels and their whole white rods.
Yeah.
I still got a basement full of them.
Were they similar to today's?
Oh,
types
no.
of reels? No,
No.
completely different. Completely
Oh, yeah,
different.
you got.
Yeah.
We didn't have no counters. We didn't have anything like that on there.
None of this fancy stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody just super chatted again, so somebody donated to the channel. All Season Angler says, thank you so much for the opportunity to watch and listen to such amazing memories and stories from Captain Jim. Thank you, Captain. So, All Season Angler, you get the obnoxious reel also. You get an extra long one. Oh, that is
All right.
and then he just said, you don't need to do the reel. Tough. You're going to get the reel. If you super chat, you're getting the reel. There's no way around it. John Thompson, this is a great question, John. Says, Captain Jim, what was your all-time favorite lure? I've got to imagine he's talking Great Lakes.
For the Great Lakes, it was a Dodger and a squid.
Dodger and a squid?
Yep.
Yeah.
But now they come out with a lot more since I don't charter in the last 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, but a Dodger and a squid was
Yeah.
pretty hard to beat for salmon.
That's a staple right there. It's funny, not many people run squids anymore. But when I first started, 20-some years
Oh,
ago,
yeah.
everybody was still running squids. But now it's gone to a lot of flies. Yeah. That's a great question. John Thompson, yeah, that was a great question. Then Ryan Purchase asked, really about the same question as Captain Jim, what would be your all-time favorite lure all over your years of fishing? So let's not just limit it to the Great Lakes, talk the river, or you can talk about Florida. Well, if you could go to one thing, what would you go to?
Oh boy.
That's a good one.
I'd probably say if I wanted to make sure I caught fish,
Mm-hmm.
would be to throw the net and catch live bait.
Yeah.
I used to catch pilchards or mullet.
Okay.
Like if I wanted
Yeah.
tarpon, I'd go and I'd throw the net and get a bunch of tarpon
Mm-hmm.
and keep them alive.
Okay.
And that was, and then like for snook and that, we'd use pinfish or pilchards.
Okay.
Yeah. But on the lake, I don't know.
Still got that Dodger and squid.
Dodger and squid, that's for on Lake Michigan and the
Yeah.
river. Spawn bags,
Sure.
beads now,
Yeah.
lures,
Yeah.
little flatfish,
Yeah.
all
Flatfish.
that.
Yep.
Quick fish.
Flatfish and quickfish have been around a long
Oh, yeah.
time. Yeah.
Actually, them K9s right now, we'll get them when water gets cold in a big river.
Yeah.
Then we'll get them little K9s down there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that K9. So I almost took that as an invite to go with you to go try them.
There you go. You're invited. If you want to go
Thanks.
someday, give us a dollar.
Thanks, Jim. I appreciate it. It's really nice of you. But I got a question for you. So nobody else has asked one yet. So we talked a little bit about brown fishing, and back in the 70s and the 80s and 90s, was there a huge difference in the brown trout on Lake Michigan than what there are now? Because that seems to be a really hot topic every spring. What's happened to
I
our
would
brown
guess
trout?
my brown trout fishing, we had it for a few years there out of Onekama.
Mhm.
Was like unbelievable. And I would use planer boards to get them, and they were in shallow.
Yeah.
I'd start out at the pier in Onekama and go towards Arcadia or even past Arcadia,
Right.
and we would have almost a limit by the time you got to Arcadia.
Okay.
And that inside one, towards the inside thing, that's where they were, the inside board.
Yep.
And then I would use pearl colored, like stick bait.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like a Rapala.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
a bomber. Or
Not
something.
a big diver either.
Just a floater.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Still pretty similar to what we're using now, but yeah, go ahead.
And boy, that was something. That water's up there was like deadly.
What do you think it was, the water up there versus the water down by Manistee?
I have no idea for sure. It got deep. There's a hole there. Just north of there. We call it the barrel.
The barrel.
And then you get on them bluffs, by them bluffs. I think there's a lot of rock on the bottom on a lot of them areas. And I think that was
That was the key?
a helper. I think it brought in whatever they wanted to eat. That was bringing,
Sure.
you know,
Whatever the bait for whatever the
them
beast
fish
smell.
are in there.
Yeah.
gorging himself on something.
Oh, it was
you know,
smelt or
so,
perch
yeah,
or whatever
yeah.
the word. Yeah.
So it was dependent what it was.
So I always found that when I brown trout fish, I sometimes have really good luck around creek mouse or river mouse.
Yeah.
Have you found that same thing over the years?
Yeah, it was good off of the the river that comes out of the two lakes, other side of Arcadia, between Arcadia
Oh
and
yeah,
Frankfurt.
right.
I can't think of the name.
I can't think of it either right now.
There's
But I
a
know
hole right out.
yes.
Yeah.
I can't think of it, but go ahead.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've even found just even like a small creek.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like Blood Creek, just north of Manistee here. I've
Oh,
found
in north
Magoon.
and south, yeah.
Yep, Gurney, Magoon.
Gurney and the other creek, there's another creek there. And there was a lot of brown down there around Ludington towards where the Sable dumps up too, in that area.
Yeah. I think that that little bit of
point.
that outflow of warmer water in the spring, I think that, and also I think the bait will find that warmer water
Yeah,
and they'll bring those
yeah.
browns in there.
Yeah,
But I completely agree with you. That inside and second inside board by the beach,
yeah.
those
oh,
are
yeah.
always the good ones.
Oh boy.
Those are always the good ones.
Oh.
Yep. And then in the opposite sense of that, later in the year in the fall, have you found over the years that salmon will congregate around those river mouse and creek mouse again? Not river mouse, but creek mouse, like Magoon and Gurney.
Oh yeah, sure.
Because I found really good success before the spawn run. You know, early August.
Yeah, yeah.
They'll already be starting to come into some of those creek areas.
Yep, they will definitely do it. I know they do off of their Sable dumps in over there at north of Ludington. And then off the Platte, right on the reef there,
Mm-hmm.
right up, they really congregate around that thing.
Yes, they do.
See, all them were headed for the Platte anyhow when they were
Yep.
up in the East Bay or you know,
Right.
up towards the. Yeah, that was, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Definitely a place you want to be looking
Oh, yeah.
later in the
Oh,
year,
yeah.
without a doubt. All right, let's see what else we got here for questions. Ryan Purchase wants to know, Jim, how did you fish the unfavorable weather back in the day without radar on your boat? So I guess he's asking if you got caught in a cloud or a fog bank out there. What'd you do?
I did not wait very long to get one. I went out and we had a lot of fog for a while,
Mhm.
and I almost got run over
Oh, by a freighter?
by a freighter.
Oh, gee.
He wasn't even blowing his whistle, so he didn't see me.
Oh,
He ain't even look for something that small. See?
right.
And I mean, it went by me, and I could see the chug, 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 right, you know, and wow.
That's not a good feeling.
So I went and got a radar. And I was probably halfway through the first season when I got it.
So this is all the way back in the 60s.
Yeah, I got it right away.
Okay.
It was on my Stamus, right on that roof of my
I
Stamus.
bet it was up there pretty quick.
It was, I went and got it, you know, and you could put that on there. I got pretty good with it. I could see seagulls quarter of a mile flying on it, you know.
Yeah.
You'd see them.
Mm-hmm.
But I was, then finally when we started going way out for them steelhead, you had to have it out there.
Oh, without a doubt.
Because there's so darn much fog out there.
You didn't know
and
which
you're
way-
right in them shipping lanes.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, without a compass, how would you even get back?
oh yeah, yeah. Oh, I wondered, so.
That's a great question, though.
Yeah,
so
it
you got
is.
a radar as quickly as you could back then.
I got one right away.
You know, I've often wondered that myself, though, when I've gotten stuck in thick fog. And I thought, if I didn't have GPS, I didn't have a radar, I didn't have a compass, what did the guys do back in the 60s that didn't have any of those things? So I imagine quite a few of them got lost. I imagine quite a few, like you, almost got ran over by a freighter, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's close. Whew.
Oh, yeah. That's not a good feeling at all. Hey, great question, though, Ryan. I appreciate that. Let's see here. All right, from TD Schloud. Was there a particular color of squid and flasher combo that was your favorite? So they want to know more about the Dodger squid. Was there a particular combo?
At times, I use a white Dodger, chrome.
Mm-hmm.
I changed it around. We had a lot of different, and stuff in green and on the squid.
Yeah.
had to have some green like on it,
Yeah.
and a lot of some glitter, you know.
Yep.
I thought anyhow, and then this, I think got so many different stuff. I don't know.
Oh, I know. Yep.
So-
And really, that boils down to a lot like the flies are these days.
But yeah,
Yeah.
but they got some great stuff out now. I
They do.
mean,
They do. Absolutely.
Dreamweavers come out with some
Amazing stuff.
amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those guys really got it down.
Oh yeah.
They really do. Good people
I
too.
knew them guys good. Pete was in on with it, and the guy that owns, I know him well, but I can't remember names right
Well, Pete, of course, Pete and his boy Shane.
now. Shane, yeah.
Shane.
Yeah.
Yep, good people. Great question though. Great question, TD. Tim H wants to know, Captain Jim, overall for salmon, did you have more luck in the morning trips or the evening trips?
Morning.
Morning. I'll agree with you on that. Yep. I sometimes have caught bigger fish in the evenings, but the majority you get more bites, I think, in the morning.
And right now they do this that bite in the morning. These guys got to leave at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, yes, we do.
You know.
Yeah.
Well, I found that out too. If you,
So what time did you leave the docks back in the
was dark.
60s and 70s?
I used to leave in the dark
Yeah,
if I had to.
yeah.
I found out that they bit really good out there.
It hasn't changed, let me tell you that.
No.
Yep, you're still up at 3:30 in the morning waiting for the customers. And sometimes the customers are at the boat at 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Because they've been at the casino all night. And they're ready to go. The great question though, Tim. Appreciate that. See what else we got here. All Season Angler wants to know, Captain Jim, have you ever fished for steelhead in the rivers in southern Ontario? You ever been up there?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, me either.
No,
I think he's inviting us though.
I know it's good.
All right, yep, we'll come. Don't worry. Yep, send us tickets. We'll come up there.
I can remember canoeing up there. We canoed in the. We'd get on the train. They'd drop us off at Sand Lake, and we'd canoe down for a whole week to Lake Superior.
Oh wow.
And them steelhead would be up in there in that creek when we got. And we went early in May, you
Yeah.
know, to beat the black flies.
Wow.
And it was cold.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah,
Those
there
blackflies
was
are
steelhead
terrible.
there. Nobody around either.
Let's see here. Ryan Purchase said he's had the badger go by me without a radar. He never even knew she was there. I had that happen to me once. I was fishing on a boat
Nice.
down there.
He
And-
wasn't blowing or nothing, you know.
Yeah. I was fishing a boat down there one time, and we saw it coming on the radar, and I said it's coming in front of us, and everybody else said no, it's going behind us. And then 2 minutes later, about 50 to 60 yards in front of us, there she went by in the fog.
Yeah,
Looked
yeah.
like a ghost ship, and I almost had to get a new pair of underwear. That was a big boat, and I didn't like
They
that
are
feeling.
really big when they get right alongside you
Yes,
there.
they are. TD Slout says he still runs squid, one of his favorites, so yeah. And Eric Anderson says, Captain Chris, so happy to see you talking with my good friend Jim Bennett. Eric Anderson says hello to you. So,
Hey, Eric.
yeah, very nice. All right, so we're slowing down on the comments. We've been talking for over an hour now, Jim. So. If you guys don't have anything else, we'll sign off here. Oh, I'll give you a quick fish. If you got another comment, question, anything, throw it up here real quick. I can catch it. But fishing report around here. Ooh, John Thompson, Captain Jim. Fish of choice to catch in the Great Lakes. If you could catch one out there, I guess he's talking salmon or trout.
Out in the Great Lakes?
Yeah,
Oh, king salmon.
of course, yeah. Yeah, it has to be. Although those coho could be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, they're a blast. But
Steelhead too.
there
Yeah.
ain't nothing like a big king taking off on you.
Oh, there's not. No, there's not. There's nothing like the look in a customer's eyes when you pick up that downrigger rod. You know what's on there,
Yeah.
and you hand it to them,
Then
and
the line is just peeling off
and
of
you
there.
just say, "Hang on,"
Yeah.
and away they go.
Oh, yeah.
We had a customer on our boat over this last summer, and he was a marathon runner. He was in great shape, really
Yeah.
nice guy. But after hauling in about 3 kings, he said, "Nope, done." He says, "This is tougher than marathon running," and he didn't want to do it anymore. So I thought that was hilarious.
That is nice.
Hilarious, yeah. Nothing like a king salmon though.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. So fishing report around here, Jim. If I can pick your brain, how's the river fishing right now?
Slow.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't have a lot of fish. I heard they're getting them on the pier pretty good
Okay.
Saturday, I think it was.
All right. It's almost a week ago.
No, just about 3 days ago.
Oh, okay.
Couple days ago.
Gotcha.
And but that doesn't necessarily not moving in that much. We're getting a few, you know.
Yeah.
Like we hooked 5 last week.
Okay.
So
In the river.
yeah,
In the big river.
yeah.
Okay.
And that was all on beads. You know,
Just slip bob and just let the bobber float.
I'm not bobber. I
No?
don't bob. I use a pencil lead,
Oh, okay.
and we flip across and we
Walk it.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Now, most guys still use bobber. You know, the full
Bobber, that bouncing it is what this originally was for. These bobbers came along several years back here,
Mhm.
but they're very popular.
Yes, they are. I mean, if you look on the wall across from us, all you see is bobbers.
I know it.
I think walking the weights is a little.
I
more
want
old
to
school.
feel. I want to rod in my hand. I want to feel the bite.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, that's just my personal.
Oh yeah.
It is not this. It's my personal feeling.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, that is definitely a more old school
because we
method.
follow it, you know, and I just.
Yes. And you know when they hit.
Oh yeah. I ain't fooling around.
Absolutely.
Some steelhead are. They're pretty good.
They're an amazing fish, aren't
Oh.
they? Amazing fish. All right. So river fishing has been slow.
Yes,
See,
it is. It's slow right now. We're getting a few,
Okay.
but it's not what it, not even close to normal.
Do you think it's going to pick up, or do you think we're at the peak?
I would hope if we got a good rain, and a big blow,
Yeah,
there'll be some more coming in for sure.
I would agree with you completely.
Yeah.
Completely. Yes. So river fishing's a little slow. Pier fishing, though, I heard the same thing, that there were some good piers out, or good pier head fishing out there for steelhead, and the occasional coho too. I heard was being caught out there.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And then perch fishing around here, so. Perch and walleye, we're still a little bit on the warm side in the inland lakes, but I have no doubt as the water cools down, they're going to get better and better and better. And love to get out on Portage Lake and get a nice mess of perch one of these days.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget, we're giving away the Fish Hawk next Sunday. Thanks again to Ryan Purchase for donating that to the channel. Please though, understand you have to be publicly subscribed to the channel to be eligible, and you have to like last week's video, and you just gotta leave a comment on it, and then that way you are completely eligible. I don't want to see anybody miss out on that if I draw your name, and if I go to check if you're subscribed publicly and you're not, I have to pass you. And I don't mean to be that guy, but I'm gonna have to be that guy because that's in the rules, and we gotta stick to the rules. So, all right, everybody, thanks again, Captain Jim.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Everybody take care.
Good fishing to you.
Absolutely. We're going to sign off and we can go home and do whatever we want to do.